their season 0-2 against one of the easiest parts of their schedule. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, Cooper Rush. It's not a good look. So, of course, that's what we're starting the show with today. Malik, should we be concerned about this 0-2 start for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yes. Yes, we should be concerned about the Bengals 0-2 start, and here's why. On Twitter, you're going to get a lot of overreactions. You're going to get people that are saying, oh, the Bengals are going to be fine. Don't worry. You're going to get people that say, oh, the Bengals are horrible. Tear it all down. Fire Zach Taylor. Let me debunk a couple things for you. Zach Taylor just took the Cincinnati Bengals, or helped take the Cincinnati Bengals, to the Super Bowl last year. He's not getting fired. Let's start there. Regardless of what people think, that's not happening. Frank Pollock is not getting fired. Mike Brown made it a mission of his to have him come back, right? So he's not getting fired either. Something that we should talk about, though, is a potential change at the play calling position between Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan. Maybe it's time to hand over the reins, because I'll tell you, a lot of what I've heard from Zach Taylor this season sounds like a guy that's in over his head. You get your overly optimistic people on Twitter that are Bengals fans that are going to tell you, oh, you're being negative. Let me tell you something. You have a right to feel how you feel. If you're comfortable with mediocrity, right? If you're comfortable with the Bengals sucking, right? This isn't a video for you. This isn't something you need to hear. I'm the most positive guy when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals, I would say. I try to see the good in everything. But now it's time to take the gloves off. Now it's time to be real. In 14 of the last 21 games the Bengals played last season, the Bengals failed to score in the first quarter. That has now trickled over into this season, which causes them to play from behind. But here's the issue, though. Last year, the Bengals were able to come back, right? I'm a firm believer of great quarterback play can overcome bad coaching. But here's the issue. We're not getting great quarterback play. I'm going to do something that not a lot of people are willing to do. Joe Burrow has sucked this season. Let's call it what it is. He hasn't played well. I get it, though. The guy has played behind terrible offensive lines, right? But I would say Joe Burrow from last year, a lot of the throws that we have seen him attempt this season, the Joe Burrow from last year to make those throws. It's like the guy is seeing ghosts back there. Ever seen that clip of Sam Darnold say, I'm seeing ghosts? I feel the same thing with Joe Burrow. Here's the positive, though. I will always say this. In terms of mental capability, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback that I've ever studied. So if there's one guy that could figure it out, if there's one guy that could pick up the pieces, if there's one guy that could galvanize the team behind him and get things back on a straight and narrow path, it's Joe Burrow. It's Joe Burrow. So you're going to get a lot of people in the media tell you, the world is falling. The world is falling. It's not. But it is bad. That being said, people say Zach Taylor's the reason for the Bengals. Zach Taylor has been a terrible play caller since he was at UC. That's why he got fired from UC. That's why he hasn't been an offensive coordinator in the National Football League. Let's call it what it is. We always knew Zach Taylor wasn't a good play caller. But yet we still saw this team in the Super Bowl last year. Why? It's because great quarterback play can overcome deficiencies. I'll say it again. I said it on the show, and I said it before 2 weeks ago. You probably should have played your starters in the preseason. You probably should have got this offensive line more game reps together. I'm not one to pull punches. Again, my name is Malik Wright. I'm a straight shooter. I tell you like it is. Whether you like it, whether you love it, you know it's the truth. You know it's a fact. There are issues with the Cincinnati Bengals. Issues that go beyond Zach Taylor's terrible play calling, which has been a growing trend for the longest time. Zach Taylor is who he is as a play caller. Joe Burrow has not been playing well at quarterback. And Bengals fans, people in the media, it's time we call it out. I understand Joe Burrow's the media darling and stuff like that. It's the reason why I set up on the show and I said, hey, I want him just a little more zoned in. It could be because of the appendectomy. It could be because of that. But he's a guy that says, I'm not going to make excuses. Joe Burrow's that guy that if you give him a chance to have excuses, he says, I'm not going to make excuses. So Joe Burrow's not going to make excuses. I'm not going to make excuses for him. Joe Burrow has been bad this season. The constant staring down Jamar Chase, not going through your progressions. You have Tyler Boyd. You have T. Higgins. You have Hayden Hurst. You have other reliable targets that aren't name uno. But again, everyone else in the media will tell you it's on Zach Taylor. Everyone else in the media will say, hey, it's on the offensive line. It's a collective unit. Football, the one thing I love about the National Football League, it's a team sport. No one player can uplift an entire team. But guess what? It's time we start calling it out. Joe Burrow hasn't been good. Zach Taylor is his consistent self, still running on 2nd and 10. Mm-hmm. Still not incorporating the play action. And then when you want to incorporate the play action, it's after you haven't established the run game. These are real things. These are real things. People don't like to talk about it because it hurts them. But guess what? It's okay with holding your team accountable. It's okay with holding your quarterback accountable. It's okay with holding the offensive line accountable. It's okay to hold players accountable. Listen, I call it like it is. Joe Burrow is going to pull the Bengals back. I believe that wholeheartedly. But right now, he is a part of the problem. And it's time we all look ourselves in the mirror and we say that. It's fine, but it's not fine. It will be, though. I believe these Cincinnati Bengals will bounce back in a big way. I'm not sure, like everyone's saying, oh, we have the Jets this week. These are the same Jets that beat us last year with Mike Wright at quarterback, so I would hold my horses on that. I need to see it now happen. But the point I'm making is the play calling goes way beyond, the issues will go way beyond the play calling. Zach Taylor said in the first week, he didn't challenge the Jamar Chase catch because there's a lot going on in a football game. To me, that sounds like a guy that is in over his head. That sounds like a guy that needs to be able to focus on managing the game. I'm sorry, 2nd and 10 runs aren't doing it. They aren't doing it. Constantly going out 5 wide isn't doing it. Get under center, hand the ball off, establish the run. Because I've seen some bright spots. I've seen some bright spots when the Bengals actually say, hey, you know what? We're going to go on I formation and we're going to try and establish the run. I've seen some bright spots. Try not to just drop back 5 wide and leave your offensive tackles on an island. Also, do me a favor, Zach Taylor. Do me a favor. Let's stop trying to block defensive ends named Micah Parsons with tight ends named Drew Sample. Come on. It's simple. It's simple. Mm-hmm. I've never played a down in football, but I coach football. I understand the basics. And the fact of the matter is, you can't try to incorporate play action if you've not established the run game. Look at some of the offenses in the NFL, like the Vikings. You see Justin Jefferson running wide open. Look at some of the offenses like the Rams. You see Cooper Kupp running wide open. Jamar Chase has the same exact talent. So yes, Bengals fans, you have a right to be pissed off. This is the exact team that was in the Super Bowl last year and is 0-2 to Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush. Damn right you should be pissed. Damn right. So I'm just tired of excuses being made. It's a collective unit. It's Joe Burrow not playing well enough. It's Zach Taylor still with the same old bland play calling. And it's the offensive line not having enough reps together. Listen, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And the numbers say the Bengals are 0-2. Meg?
Listen, I was able